Well, howdy. Welcome here to the Double M Farm. Been a while since I've done any videos. As many of you know, I've been battling a kidney stone, or several kidney stones, and still battling them, but I'm feeling better. Haven't been doing a lot of physical stuff any more than I have to, but thought, as I was standing here watering the ducks, I got to thinking about the way things are right now, the economy. This is May the 30th of 2022, and the economy is, gas and everything. So got me thinking about how can we save money. Anyone who has the quote-unquote homestead or small hobby farm or whatever you want to call it. Homestead has different meanings to different people. But anyone who tries to live this kind of life, basically the life I grew up in, but now, back then we just called it redneck farmers. Nowadays they call it homesteading or hobby farming. But how in the world do we manage it in today's economy? The price of feed, and look at that dirty duck, it looks like a pig. He is so happy over there in that mud. It's just so hard. Price of food, a feed for like these ducks and the chickens and all has just gone through the roof. A bag of food I used to get for $12 is now $22. So I got thinking about, as I was standing here, how in the world can I save money, and what do I do to help cut corners and pinch pennies? Try not to skimp on my animals. If I own an animal, it's not going to die of starvation. I'm going to make sure they always have food and water. But there are ways, just like what you see right here, these buckets. I know many of you, if you have animals, you've probably had the round rubber tubs that we feed out of and water out of. You can get them at like Tractor Supply and various other feed and seed stores. The darn things are expensive. And I was in Lowe's one day, and I'm sure you can get them at Home Depot and other building supply places. But I found these tubs. These are the small size ones. They're made out of a very thick, heavy black plastic. And what they are is they're over in the concrete section of your building supply stores. And they're tubs for mixing small amounts of concrete. And like I say, this is the smaller size. They're also a larger size. And I got these things for $6 a piece. And they are so thick and heavy and durable. It's just a fantastic way to, probably too big to use for a feeder unless you've got an awful lot of animals, or maybe you want to feed goats or something out of them. But they're perfect for waterers for these ducks. I can fill these things up and not have to worry about water for days. And they're so heavy and durable, I can just grab the side there and pick it up and dump the dirty water out of it, and it doesn't even flex or bend. So here's one that I've got out here for the outside ducks. And it needs to be cleaned. This one gets a lot of sunshine. I really need to get the green out of it, but the ducks seem to like it. But it's a very heavy, durable bucket, pot, whatever you want to call it. It's in the concrete section of your building supply stores. And now, a disclaimer, every price I mention right now could be higher by the time I finish making this video with the economy the way it is. But I paid $6 a piece for these things, and I think that's a pretty good price for a waterer that size. And I didn't think to measure it because I just started doing this spur of the moment, but there's my hand to give you a size, an idea of the size. So that's just one of the things that I've been able to do. Other waterers, I got some real cheap plastic 55-gallon drums and cut them in half. And I've got one at every building I have with a rain gutter. So if we have a lot of dry weather, I have to fill them up and run my pump. But if we have rain, they're self-filling, and I don't have to worry about them. So that works out great. While we're talking about the building supply places and the concrete section, I don't know how many of you use muck boots, but if you've priced muck boots lately, I looked at some at Tractor Supply the other day, and they were, I think, $29.95 for just a pair of rubber muck boots. Well, while I was in there getting these in the concrete section, they also had these and they're rubber boots made for concrete mixers to wear when they're pouring concrete and finishing concrete. The darn things were $11. And they're thicker and heavier than regular muck boots, and they're 11 bucks. So there's another savings. And of course, obviously reuse. This tin here has been used on multiple buildings. But another thing that I've gotten a lot of success out of that's extremely cheap, especially now with building supply, lumber prices the way they are these dog-eared fence panels. These are 6-footers here. You can also get them in 8-footers. And they were like $1 a piece, and I'm not sure exactly what they are now, but they're still a lot cheaper than regular lumber. They're called 1x6s. They actually measure about 3/4 by 5.5, 5 3/4. But in a non-structural application, like siding, I wouldn't use them where they had to hold up anything, but in a non-structural application, it is a very cheap way to build a building. I framed this building with 4x4 posts and treated 2x4s, and then put those dog-eared fence boards, and it was a heck of a sight cheaper than using regular treated 1x6s, or definitely cheaper than 2x. So just another way to cut costs. Of course, everyone knows if you garden, that's a good way to save money. Hey, Bugsy, look at your face, you muddy duck. He's not happy unless he's muddy. I gotta, whoops, going the wrong way. I gotta cut the water off. Finished watering the ducks. Another thing I did that helped on costs was when I built my workshop, I sided it with sheets of OSB, and then on top of the OSB I put regular roofing felt, and then over the roofing felt I put those same dog-eared fence boards. And what I did, I put the dog-eared fence boards, whoops, about to fall down, and then got little strips. These are treated strips. I think they're for making lattice panels. Got them at Lowe's. And I just covered the edges of the dog-eared fence boards with those strips. And it makes a nice board and batten siding. This side's protected from the weather, and it still almost looks new. The front side is weathered. It's got the gray weathered look to it. But I'm extremely pleased with the way that came out. Just gives you a very nice board and batten look. Had an extremely cheap price. So just another way that you can pinch pennies and save money on the old homestead. So just thought I would share a few things that popped into my mind about that. And if anyone else would like to share some tips on saving money on the homestead, leave them in the comments below, and we'll share them with everyone. And in today's economy, my God, we need all the help we can get to save money. So this is probably a worthless video, but it was just something I had on my mind. So I appreciate you visiting us here on the Double M Farm today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.